Hi, boys. So, been a while since I posted. Not a lot has changed. We have done some cosmetic work on the K24 too. I did paint the valve cover. I bought some pale leaf stuff for the dipstick and the fill, and I painted the intake manifold. Not much. Last time you saw this, it was shaved, but it wasn't painted. I did coat it. Not too happy with it. It looks not the greatest, but it is what it is. At least it'll go in the car. We did put a K20 pulley on the front of this thing, and then pretty much like timing set is back in it. New timing chain. I think it is a RSX oil pump with no balance shafts in it. The actual one that came out of the motors over here. I think you saw what we did. If you follow Alex's channel, Alex Rex 20, he kind of gives you a rundown. It's actually us in our garage, or this garage, going through me doing all this work. He's more dedicated to YouTube videos than I am, but this is the motor. God dang, that's a lot of stuff. I got junk. I got kids. Anyways, so motors, long block is together. I think that's about as together as it's going to get for the time being. No need to go back into it. It's all factory, but it does have like a new timing set in it. So that's it. The Civic still sits the way it did, pretty much. Like I said, not much of an update. I feel kind of bad about that because I haven't really had a whole lot of time to work on it. But there are some things that we did since the last video you saw. I went into the transmission and found a couple things, right? So this transmission originally had I guess what it was explained to me was a grind in the top of third gear, which looking at it, this is your third gear synchro, and it is in pretty rough shape. I don't know if you can see this. This is, let's see what we got here. I got another one. It's in the box, but let's use that example. All right, maybe this is it. So, same size? All right, so left synchro is a good one. Right synchro is a bad one. You can tell how knife edge the teeth are on this one. Missing a lot of material, and how rounded and pointy these are on a new synchro. That's the way they're supposed to look. That's the way these look. So I don't think it was just a grind at the top of third. I think it was a grind anytime third gear was selected. So this is going to get replaced. Another thing is this is supposed to stop the gear from spinning whenever pressure is put on the synchro in order for it to engage. And even like by hand, if you put pressure on this against the cone, when it was on the gear stack, it didn't even do anything. So I'm sure it was grinding all the time. But this is gone. We do have new ones. We've got this synchro. We've got all these synchros. So these are all carbon. And this is what's going to go into the transmission. So 1 and 2 is I think it's a triple cone synchro set. Third gear was a single cone. This is a single cone. I did not know there was a difference between a single cone and a double cone until I realized that these teeth were kind of janky on the gear. And I bought this one out of a CRV. Same gear ratio. This is a dual cone synchro. What that means is where this cone is machined into the gear, this one has let's see where it is. God, dude, let's see. Okay, so this one has basically dual cone, which is right here. So inner cone, outer cone. So instead of one clamping force, you kind of have two, and this should sit down on that. I got one hand recording. So whereas your normal synchro would just have this goes inside, this goes on top, this goes on the outside. So dual cone second gear, which is actually an upgrade. I ordered this gear by mistake, but it ended up being a welcome change. I'm pretty sure that this gear stack with the matching gear, which is the same ratio, I think it's like 1.212 or something like that. I don't know what it is, but it is same single cone, dual cone. That's what's going in it. And then single cone, fourth and fifth. So fourth and fifth don't get a whole lot of use, so I'm not too worried about it. But this is an unexpected change to the plans. Other than that, transmission's apart. Obviously, I got to pull this gear stack apart. This one's already apart. And then try to figure out how this thing goes back together. I know you probably don't understand my method here, but it will go back together. Or maybe it doesn't, who knows. But the goal is to put it back together and have a nice running driving 5-speed. So other than that, obviously transmission's apart. This is the open diff. We're gonna replace this with a factory Honda limited slip, which I think I talked about. I got new bearings for these, new seals for these. And then we'll put the case back together. And then we'll go, hopefully once I get the transmission built, clutch back on it, back on the engine, drop it in the engine bay. That's the goal. I don't know when that's gonna happen. I was hoping by like, if I'm being honest, I was hoping that this was gonna happen by like April 8th, which is my birthday, have it like in the car, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be like in the car, late April, early May timeframe. We did do a few things. The finishing lines kit, at least the stuff that goes under the hood is installed, right? So I've got the clutch slave, the brake master, and the line that goes to the firewall. I still have to run all the lines to the calipers and inside of the car all the way back to the bag. So that's a thing. We did change, what else? Oh, big thing is we did decide on an ECU, whatever you want to call it. This is a Link G4X plug and play. That's going to go in the car. It's from Stupid Fast in Houston. It should be fairly easy to tune with. I think it's more capable than what I need, but that's what we're going to do. We did get wideband for it. We also have 1650cc injectors for this thing, way overkill for what I'm doing, but I've talked about it in previous videos that I want more injector and fuel pump than I ever need. So that is a piece of the puzzle. We did go with I was like on the fence about a lot of this stuff. There was so many different harnesses like Rywire, and then you could get like $48 eBay harnesses, but this is a Carrot Top tuning harness. I don't know, because I've never put my hands on it, if it's a knockoff or a rebranded Jack Spanier or whatever it is, but it actually looks really, really good. Very decent connectors. They're pretty hardy, like they're flexible. They're not junk from what I can tell. The wire looks decent. It looks like it's pretty well made, and it should be. But that's the main harness. It's set up for a K20, so we're gonna have to do a couple things to the motor as far as like changing out sensors and whatnot to make it work, but I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. These do have the factory Honda connectors, so it plugs into the ECM, which was kind of a thing for me. No matter what harness or what ECM I went with, I figured as long as I had the Honda connectors, there's a lot of stuff out there. Like you can get let's just say the Link doesn't work out for some reason, I can still get a harness that plugs into this, that plugs into a fuel tech. So that was a big deal for me. It is all based off of like 02 to 04 RSX stuff. So I won't have to change the harness if it comes down to that. And then I have the chassis harness for an EG. It's supposed to be plug and play. We will see how plug and play it is when I start wiring stuff under this. This is the stuff that scares me. But I don't think it's gonna be that big a deal. I really don't. I think that all these are labeled fairly decent actually as to what they go for and what they go to. So no big deal there. As far as the car is concerned, there's not a whole lot of things that have changed on it since the last time you saw it. I guess my biggest accomplishment, I'm very proud of this. it's a step in the right direction, right? So it's like the small victories in life. Oh, yeah. My hatch works and it stays open. So, anyways, this little thing's making me smile. I do have a delete kit for the wiper because that looks ugly as shit. But anyways, that's it. That's an update on the car. Man, what else? What else? Radiator's still where you saw it last. Transmission has exploded. Oh yeah, we did get some different springs. I got a different selector hang on. So this right here is your, sorry for my nails, that's horrible. Anyways, that's your factory selector. You can tell it's got some wear on it right there. I got another one of those. I got a spring kit that's supposed to be higher spring tension to give you a more firm feeling when shifting, which I'm a little bit concerned about the shifter because it is a cheap version. It is a knockoff, but it's got a little bit of slop back and forth. But I think, I could be wrong. I think whenever it's hooked up to the cables and hooked up to the transmission, it's probably not as bad as it feels right now. But other than that, what else? Glove box door that Alex snagged for me. Mint. I mean, mint. Mint. I mean, this thing is the best thing that ever happened to me. He'll be proud to hear me say that. Everything functions. He got me all the screws, all the hardware, all the everything. I just scratched it. I can't believe I did that. Laying on top of my ECM. This glove box is worth more than the ECM. But anyways, I mean, incredible snag out of a junkyard. Give him props for that. Gonna fill the hole in the dash, make it look a little bit more original. And then, man, if I'm not lying, like, I cannot wait for this thing to get back together. I would like to hear it run, and that's all. Like, I don't even care if it has axles. I just want it to run. We can figure all the rest out later. But, oh, another thing. This, I don't know if I said anything about this previous video. I've been looking in junkyards for like the past 3 weeks. Actually, longer than that, probably for the past 2 months, for this molding that goes on the side of the windshield. It was so hard because this one's like clean. Everything's pretty clean on this car, but I could not find a good windshield molding at all. Couldn't find one. They were either rusty or pitted or nasty or bent or just junk. And then back to my Stiller hatch. And then when I started doing the hatch in the back, you're not gonna believe this, boys. It was inside of the car the whole time. I had it and didn't even know about it. So it was buried under here, but super excited about that. That never happens to me ever. But yeah, that's kind of it. We haven't really done anything under the hood. Still the same old white EG. I got my duck. Funny story about the duck was it came out of the red EG that sacrificed the whole front clip. I still haven't posted videos about that repair process, but it's coming because I think it's kind of worthwhile to this story. But we get done cutting the whole front end off this car or the other car, and then when I was inside the dash looking on the floorboard, there was a duck. So it's not a Jeep, but that's my duck. And it'll ride shotgun for a long time. Anyways, that's about it. I guess, what else, man? that's about it. Nothing has changed on this. I apologize. Dang. Ugh. Ouch. Anyways, yeah, that's about what we got. So, again, appreciate you guys looking at these videos. I know they're dry, they're boring, they're one take, but it is what it is. And thanks for watching.